I started off as a shy and awkward kid, which really doesn't fit how I act as an adult, but it was the thing I was good at. You know, if I'd been good at baseball, I'd been a baseball player. If I was good at a track, I'd have done track, but I drew kind of good. I could look at a picture of a flower and I'd look like a flower, and I'd add a bunch of teeth and eyes and whatever because I was, you know, a kid and like gruesome shit. And I still like gruesome shit. And that's what happened. So looking back and being totally honest, art was a thing I was good at. I always like the mentality of collecting things, like having a series of, I have a bunch of teacups, I have the 2 hookahs, I just like picking up weird shit wherever I can find it, which is kind of what drove me to make a whole bunch of the exact same thing ad nauseum during my last 2.5 years of college, which my professors weren't too fond of, but I like, because that's how I work. I really like the idea of my art just being collecting my thoughts, and I never kept a journal because people suck at privacy. And they never wanted to do the whole video journal thing, and I can't take a photograph to save my goddamn life. So, I kind of guess I use art that way. Even if it's just one drawing a week, or, you know, as I've been recently, a few sketches in my sketch pad or something, I need to do something. It's almost like a nervous tick at this point. If no one's in my house, I'm not smoking and I'm not watching something, even sometimes while I'm smoking or watching something, I'm making a drawing. I don't really know what drives me to make art, I just make it. To make something I enjoy and I want to see that can't exist anywhere else. Be it the way me being me as the only me that exists, or me making a drawing that's only going to exist within itself. Of course there are drawings like it, but you know, there are many like it, but this one is mine. I don't have a real method or a real time slot to work. I just kind of get to work when I get to work, and sometimes a few work hours produces a lot of work, and 30 hours produces none.
A curve out there, but I don't want it to be 100% even. I want it to be a bit thicker on the inside, that little thing right there, then on the edge just be really careful not to make the outline too thick. And then the pupil.
I don't think there's one reason I like ink. It's everything from it being really visceral. You have to dip the brush, make the line, make sure the line's crisp or not because we want it that way. You have to really kind of breathe life into that line, as stupid and pretentious as it sounds. And again, one of those things I'm regretting saying now that I've said it. Like, I'm a 22-year-old making art right now. I haven't had the time to really think where my art comes from. And I've had teachers get pissed off at me, like, oh, you can't use your young as an excuse. Picasso is making realist drawings at 8, and that's fucking good for Picasso. I don't know where my art is coming from. I don't know why I make the work I make. I just end up making work. I could go back and dissect each individual piece, but it's not gonna help me make more work. Maybe one day I'll step back and I'll be able to say, oh, I know exactly what I was doing, and I was an idiot when I was 22, because yeah, I'm an idiot who just got out of college. And, that's where the work comes from, I guess. Something really basic and kind of juvenile, like, what if that teacup had an arm? And then, look at a teacup. That'll look cool with an arm. Teacup, draw the outline, make an arm, then start working off that and working off that and working off that until I have a drawing that was originally a teacup with an arm and then becomes just a whole mess of things that I might even forget what they were after I've drawn it because I've put so much into that one drawing and that one hour to 45-minute drawing session. I don't even know why I do this like Charles Manson as a Pokemon thing with these words. I have no idea where this fucking came from. For some reason it made me think of the Virgin Mary and About a Mask, so I referenced the Virgin Mary and About a Mask, I think. I think that's what I referenced. I've actually completely forgotten. I make the work I do because I like how it looks. I think the art was fucking cool. But I feel weird detaching myself and looking at myself in the third person because I don't know how to do that. I think part of the reason I put myself down like that is because again, I'm looking in the mirror right now to not make eye contact. I'm a bit narcissistic. I have a look that I dress a particular way every day. I'm very into myself, and I think it's a slippery slope. Getting really into yourself if you can't step back and be a little self-deprecating sometimes. My need to have control in part, and my need to have control over my art comes from me being uncomfortable with the idea of not having control. even like the way my house is messy, you know, this goes here, this goes here, this goes here, and all pieces of this mess are going to go in a particular place. And if someone moves it, I have to know it's been moved and reprocess that as something that's supposed to be that way. I guess the idea of using controlling chaos or controlled chaos comes from, you know, control is safe and important and not scary, but chaos is terrifying and fun and hilarious. And I need that. You know, if I was just chaotic, I would probably be in jail, because anyone would if they just did whatever the hell they wanted whenever they wanted. But if I was all control, I'd be bored, and I think I'd be boring. So it's finding a happy balance when I'm going into that empty white space or yellow paper, or I'm making a sculpture or some rope work. I'm taking something completely empty and making something within that space. The things that make those little drawings over there come from so many places that I don't know right now, and I'll be honest and to say I don't know right now exactly where it comes from. I probably had the worst luck in roommates I could have. It was someone who I dated in the past, and just made my house a total shithole and put me into a lot of debt. And I didn't have a day where my apartment wasn't like a just a maze of cleaning supplies, someone else's clothing, and everything smelled like cat piss. She was out one day, and I had the apartment myself, and I just got puking drunk and made a piece. It was terrible. The teacher loved it. I think it was shit. My teacher liked it. I was really raw and human, but it wasn't. It wasn't me. It was me in a really bad mood, whining about something that would be fixed in the next 3 months. Really drunk. You know, I feel like there's this, people are raw and automatic when they drink and they make art or they show their emotions, but that's not me in my eyes. That's me being vulgar and unnecessarily vulgar and being someone who I wasn't proud of how I acted while I was making that work, and I wasn't proud of the person I was when I made that work. Wailing on that canvas and like putting burning cigarette butts into it and carving into it was a lot more grotesque to me than any picture referencing, like I watch videos of plastic surgeries if I can find them, because those are kind of weird and gross looking, but it's more grotesque to me than that's going to be, because that's just a thing I look at. I don't feel grossed out when I do that. I don't feel grossed out when I draw something that might be a little vulgar to someone else, or when I say something be vulgar to someone else. That moment of, again, not having control and thinking, oh, I have this great apartment that's going to shit because of this person, and me overreacting to it like an idiot, made the most grotesque, vulgar piece, to me at least. But I'm not proud of having made that kind of vulgar piece. I'm proud of having made these pieces. Even that vulgar piece was much more well received than these pieces I think are ever going to be. That wasn't me. And that's not the thing I want to create. This is what I want to create.
Right now you're concentrating on line and ink.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you mentioned that you've done other types of things as well.
Oh yeah, I did I did some abstract painting. I did one performance piece that my class and my teacher, I think the class liked it, but the teacher liked, where I just kind of bathed myself in ink and had a panic attack in class. I was lucky enough to actually have had a panic attack mid I'm like, oh, I can't fucking deal with this, so I started freaking out and putting ink on myself. And while they thought it was, like, again, deep and reflective and whatever, I just thought it was pretentious and stupid, so I never did it again. I have no idea how a math that doesn't make art would behave, because I have no idea what that other me did to fill his time. Maybe that person got into, like, you know, artisanal teas, or that person learned to play more instruments and how to compose. There are some tropes about being a person, and the need to create something is one of those tropes. I make work because I want to, and because I want it to look the way it does. If I was making work with someone else, because of how someone else wanted to look, I'd be a technician in my eyes. But this is because I want to make it. The eye, the tentacles, this little curve right here, this is because I have an idea of how this art, how this drawing is supposed to look. And it's going to look the way I want it to look in the end. And it's about me. It's selfish. It's the way I want the art to look. After this is dried and maybe I've washed the brush or I've gone and done something else, I'll look at it and think, what kind of words do I want to put to this image? Or sometimes I'll put down some words and I'll think, once it dries, what kind of image I'm going to put these words. But right now I'm going to probably step back from this for a little while, and then at a certain point, take the pencil, write out some words, trace it over an ink, and that'll be the final piece. What I love is I look like me. I look like the last fuck who would know how to play the harmonica.